Okay. Oh good, we're on the right character for a change. Alrighty, let's see here. Not that one. That one. Alright, so we're going to be kicking off today with Pacifist. That's been working out well to give me an idea of how stable the internet's gonna be, so if something goes wrong, it's on him and he shouldn't be in combat and blah 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 blah. We should be okay. So, sorry for the late start today, you guys. It was a long night. I had scrunched my neck up while I was editing the speed paint of our needle felting project. Yesterday. It took me all fucking day. I still haven't finished yet. I had gotten all of the live streams kind of edited together as seamlessly as possible. It was helpful that I took long pauses in the beginning and the end of the stream so I could kind of get them up without too many jarring cuts in there. But I did have to find them all to do that. But then I had to, once I got all that done, I realized, oh shit, after we put it at like 900% speed, that was about as fast as we could go with it still being watchable. The video was 5.5 hours long. So then I was like, okay, well now we have to come up with 5.5 hours of audio to slap in over the video. Great. And I know that doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but the music that YouTube provides that you can download and stick into your videos, a lot of it is in like clips of 1 minute and 45 seconds to, I think, from what I was pulling from, I think the longest I pulled was like maybe 4 minutes. A lot of them fall within the 2 to 3 minute range. There are some clips that are longer that are like ambient clips, but they annoy me the way the sound is on those longer clips, so I can't really use those because they piss me off. So I was like, nah, I wasn't feeling those. So I got about an hour of music sorted, kind of. There's a couple that didn't really flow that well into one another, but you know, I was like, well, I gotta stick it in here somewhere. So I got about an hour of that in and cataloged on a Word doc so that way I can just kind of copy and paste it into the video description. And I went to put in the next song and it's like, oh, disk error, we can't write that. And I was like, what? What do you mean a disk error? Like, this is just like a weirdness, right? It dropped in funny, that's all. And I wrote it off as a nothing because the next one I dropped in, it did it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is just a weird thing. So I had cut that clip and replaced it with something else. And then I went to put in another one. And it did the same thing. And it was saying the audio is not there. And I'm like, what do you mean the audio is not there? God damn it. And I was getting really, really pissed because I had been working on this pretty much all day. And was not happy. And so I deleted it from my portable hard drive, re-downloaded it from YouTube, re-shoved it over there so that it knew where it was pulling the audio from, put it back in, and again the same thing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if Adobe is not crashing, then it's doing this shit. So because I had been really good about saving the whole time, and I had it saving to my portable because I don't have enough space on the PC itself. I think it might have been a C drive issue, I'm not sure, although I thought that we had Adobe in D drive. We might want to look at that. Although I don't want to fuck with it now that I'm in the middle of this project. But, saved it, exited, restarted Adobe, reloaded the project, and I'm like, this is just because I haven't, like, I've been in here all day. Reloaded it, same thing. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So now Russell and I seem to think, well, maybe it's an issue with Adobe where it's hit its structural limit for the file. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no, do not tell me I spent like 12 hours working on this yesterday and now this is a problem. So we're gonna try to do a workaround on it tonight. I'm gonna try to export it as it stands. And once it's exported, we're gonna try to drop that file back into Adobe in a separate file and see if it'll let me finish putting the music in. 'Cause it's being a bit of a bitch and it's pissing me off to no end. Hey, our guy's here. So we'll have to keep an eye out on him. So, yeah, that's a thing apparently. I was gonna render it last night after the issue became apparent. However, we had some severe weather that they were watching coming towards us, and they put us under a tornado watch, and I was like, oh fuck. And Russell's like, yeah, don't render it tonight, because if the power goes out or something, then you're gonna have even more lost time and the file could get pissy. And I'm like, yeah. So, and I didn't know how long the render was gonna take, so I didn't start it before I went to bed because it was still kind of storming when I finally gave up and went to bed. It's just like the severe threat was over finally. I didn't get to bed till like 7:30 this morning because I was watching the weather, and at one point around 4:30 I'd been watching a line of thunderstorms that were coming in and they looked pretty nasty, and I was like, ugh. And you know, at that time of day, sometimes it's a little slow when the live coverage happens, because most people are asleep. But the one news station's pretty good about getting on Facebook Live and on the air on the tornado warnings. And then I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, this rain, it just sounds like I'm inside a washing machine or in an automatic car wash. It is crazy hitting this window behind me. And the lightning was really intense because I had our outside camera up, and like at one point it was raining so hard the camera was lagging trying to process it. I was like, wow. Just non-stop lightning flashes. I'm like, this is crazy. This storm isn't intense. How do we not have a warning on this? The wind, oh, it was terrible. So I went to check the radar again, and I'm not seeing anything, and I'm just the tornado watch, and I'm like, okay. And a few minutes later I checked back and there was a severe thunderstorm warning up, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, why didn't the phone ring? So I zoomed in on the warning, and I saw that it was like on the opposite side of Fayetteville from where we are. So it was more north and east side of Fayetteville than it was south and west. So I was like, oh, alright. So I'm like, I'm not sure why we're not in this, but okay. And I had turned my attention to back to what I was doing for a few minutes, and I looked back again, and suddenly there was a tornado warning there. I'm like, oh shit. And then I like was double checking the towns. We weren't in it. Our phone never rang for an emergency warning. So I was like, okay, this is weird because it's all part of the same storm. I guess they're just seeing something on a different area of it. It was very bizarre. Yeah, those aren't happening because look, we got mobs all up in here. It was just crazy. So I'm like, guys, tornado warning, why isn't anybody on the air? Hello? And I'm like trying to find somebody. Nobody was doing a Facebook Live, although Facebook notifications for me have been a little weird. Sometimes they're super slow, and I don't understand what's going on. So I was like, okay. So then I opened up another window from the one news station, and it said something about Nowcast. I'm like, oh wait, are we on the air right now? Because you can watch it on their website, or you can, or they'll do a Facebook Live. And just as I was about to load up their website app, I got the notification that they were live on Facebook, and I was like, oh, well, finally. Oh, hey, the rare bear's here. Mange. He's a mangy boy. Well, we don't want any parts of him, so we'll just get our ore. And we'll be on our way. Thank you much. And when the Facebook Live loaded, he was already like mid-sentence, so I think they were just slow getting on Facebook, because they already had the radar pulled up, and the one dude was like, yeah, I'm really concerned about this, because they were showing what could have been a debris ball on the radar, and I'm like, oh shit. Because the town that they were saying they were seeing that over is not that far from here, maybe 20 minutes, maybe, depending on traffic. So I was like, oh damn. Like, this is part of the same storm that was over us. And I was like, well, shit, that had to have been intensifying over us. We're lucky that it didn't drop down on us, because it was just like, poof, warning. There wasn't much lead time for that one. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it was just like a brief little spin up doodle. And then they were seeing it go, and then they were saying the debris signature was getting stronger, and I'm like, oh shit. And then it kind of looked like it weakened a bit. And then apparently in the Facebook Live chat, somebody was saying, I live in X city, and it's really calm here. And there's insulation falling from the sky into my yard, and the weather dudes were like, oh, that would be about right if it went through here. And it was unconfirmed that this person had insulation falling into their yard, because, you know, people can talk out their asses all they want when they're sitting behind a keyboard. And you never know if they're being 100% truthful or not. So they were treading very lightly when they were talking about it. They're like, okay, okay. And then they were getting more unconfirmed damage reports because they hadn't seen photos yet and stuff. So they were still very concerned about it. And then it kind of fizzled out on the radar, but the weather service was letting the tornado warning sit. I guess they were afraid that it was gonna cycle back down, and then they were like, okay, okay, and then more damage reports were coming in, and then more damage reports were coming in, and you guys, these pictures are bad. A gym was basically destroyed on an elementary school, but looking at the structure of the gym, it kind of looked like it was like sheet metal. Like there was like iron support beams for it that were just kind of crumpled, but the walls looked like they were like the sheet metal-y thingies. It didn't look like it was like a brick or wooden concrete structure. And then some kind of logistics tractor trailer loading and offloading warehouse or something was partially destroyed. There's houses with the roofs half ripped off of them. There's a cell phone tower that was just crumpled. Like, it looked like it was made of string and just, like, bent over. It's crazy. There were power lines down everywhere. I think this morning they were saying there was like 10,000 people without power in that area. And I'm like, our lights didn't even really blink. But I think we're hooked into a different substation. But we got lucky. Definitely got lucky last night. And then I just kind of stayed up till the tornado watch was done. And it felt like things were good to go. Sorry, I'm just getting a drink here. I need caffeine, so I had scrunched my neck, and that kind of gave me not a full-blown migraine, but my head was definitely killing me by the time I laid down. It's still not great, but it's better than what it was, so I was like, well, let's just go and get this done. So again, sorry for the late start today. I do apologize for that. But it was either go late or cancel entirely, and I had to get our pizza dough made and rising before we could get started here. And then my mom's like, oh, can you go to next door to Sonic and get us food? And I'm like, she did this to me the other night. I had food cooking in the Dutch oven, and I had just pulled it out so that she could have the oven if she needed it for dinner, because it was pretty much done. I just had to make my sauce and stuff, and I was going to do that in a separate pan so I didn't make the Dutch oven weird. And I was about to start setting up, and I said, what are you doing for dinner? She's like, oh, I was going to ask Russell to go here to get us dinner. I was just like, are you serious? I just looked at her and she goes, what? You're not cooking anything? And I was like, well, I was. So I had those leftovers the next night, and just as I finished putting the pizza dough in the oiled bowl to rise, she's like, yeah, can you go to Sonic? And I'm like, she's like, what? Russell's like, well, let me just put this mixer back that Dee just finished making dinner with. She's like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, yeah. You had food out. I thought. I don't really eat that much from Sonic, though. But I was like, you had food out. I didn't think you were doing anything weirdness for dinner tonight, so... I guess her back hurt too bad to cook her. She just wasn't in the mood. I don't know. Though I'm never really in the mood to cook, but, you know, gotta eat, so. I think this one we've gotten before without trouble. We just have to make sure we don't fly too close to them on our way back out of there. But, yeah, it was an odd day. So tonight, we'll see if we can get this thing rendered. I'm thinking it's going to take, like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours to render. Maybe 6. Because I've rendered, like, an hour video for Flamingo Falls before, or close to an hour, and it's taken me almost 2 hours to render it. So, I'm a little nervous about how long the render is going to take on this one, which is why we didn't start it earlier this morning. Because I was like, well, I can't do it if I'm going to be in the middle of a stream. So my PC's really not going to like me trying to stream and rendering a video at the same time. That's not going to happen. Like I've said before, I'm just trying not to anger this thing. Until we're in a position where we can potentially replace it. Where did you come from? Oh, that's right. We got it on this one, not that one. So that one's not for us. Definitely not for us. We can't get that one. Not with him standing there. I mean, we could attempt to freeze trap it, but he's still gonna fucking try to damage us, I think. If we, try to loot it. And then I think does freeze trap put us in combat? I don't know, but it's just not worth it. It's just not. Not when there's other nodes that we can just travel onward to. Seems silly to risk that. Yeah, so tonight we'll have pizza. And then I will sit here and try to figure out how to unscrunch my neck and let this thing render. And cross my fingers that this workaround works, because I'm gonna be real fucking pissed if it doesn't. I used to use Sony Vegas, and when the next update of it came out, it was entirely changed. And I didn't like the changes. Like, I could not figure out how to fucking maneuver through there with the changes. And I know it sounds silly, but everything was different, and it pissed me off. And I'm just like, nope, I'm done. Like, I was actually mid project when that happened, and I was like, oh fuck me. And I gave up. I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't worth it to me anymore. Right now I have Adobe Premiere. It's an older one though. It is no way, shape, or form a more recent version. And it usually does well enough, but I am concerned about what's gonna happen with that. So we will see. Alright, so we're up to 643 iron and 1,118 life root at the moment. Now that's not from the entirety of leveling out here. I did sell a whole bunch of life root and iron bars not that long ago. A few levels ago. So, but there's nowhere to smelt out here. Like, let me rephrase that. There's nowhere to smelt in Chillwind. So I'd have to go over to either Mender's Steed or it's not, Lightsoap Chapel's in Eastern. Like, there's other places I could go, but I don't have those flight points. I really don't feel like going to Lightsoap Chapel. If I'm gonna do that, I'll just fucking go back to Ironforge. But at this point, we've got, what, a level and a quarter, a third, before we go back to Ironforge, so it's kind of like, fuck it. We'll figure it out later. It can just sit there till we hit 50. At this point. Getting a decent number of jade. Haven't gotten a whole lot of gold, but you know. That is what it is. Gold's a bit rarer over here. I've gotten enough life root to choke an elephant. That's for certain. Only we were finding iron like that. Hope we can sell all of this life root. It would be nice to be able to afford a token, although I'm sure as soon as I get enough money to the current token price, I'm sure it will jump again because timing. Because X-Pack release will be coming soon. Oh. Hey. Do you remember what card we put WoW on?
No.
Okay, I'll have to check that when I'm done. Because I just realized it's the 30th. I think my turnover date's on the 4th. So we may or may not be playing WoW next week. We'll have to see what finances look like. Because Bagnon says I have 181,000, but that's across Horde and Alliance. So we can't count some of that money. What is that? Did I pass something? Or did this just come back? I don't know if I missed this. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what things look like. Though the selling of the iron and the life root would definitely not get me to where we need to go. What is it at right now, anyhow? Let's see. Let's go to Wowhead. I haven't been in auction house in forever. Oh, it's at 180. But like I said, that's not actually how much money I have. So if we take off that one and take off that one, Soul Survivor is Horde. Control your soul is Horde. So yeah, that drops us by 10,000, so I doubt I'll be able to come up with 10,000 gold. Worth of iron that we have on us, so maybe 2,000 if we're lucky. I don't really have anything to really sell right now, and that's if I bankrupt the death. Well, no, the Death Knight's on the other side, so that doesn't really matter. I'd say the Death Knight needs gear, but Death Knight's horde side, so we can bankrupt them. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. It's been a while. Maybe I can go through my bank vault and start selling everything off again. We could probably sell some stuff. I'm not the only one in the guild right now, though, so I can't really sell off the guild bank. Because one of the other guildies I saw on a couple of weeks ago, so I'm like, oh, well, I can't do that. I thought they had stopped playing, to be perfectly honest. I guess it was just timing and I just wasn't seeing them. I was like, well, if I'm the only one that's actually playing and nobody's been seen in like 6 months or so. Alright, we're almost there on the Pacifist. Now, we do have a couple things coming up soon. Darkmoon Fair starts on the 3rd. And then later in April on the 18th, we have Noble Garden. And it's going to be a busy couple of weeks there because Noble Garden kicks off on the 18th. That wraps up on the 25th. And then on the 1st of May, we've got Darkmoon Fair. And then Children's Week starts the 2nd of May. So I'm going to be kind of busy here doing things and stuff soon. So we shall see how things go. Oh, and there's our ding. All right. Let's get our photo here. And we'll hearth back. So he's got one more level to go before he gets moved to Record Town. And we will post, or I will post, his Shadowlands leveling experience on YouTube so you guys can see it. So that'll be a direct to the YouTube channel. So make sure you're following over there. YouTube channel is NiseyBGN, same as it is here. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. It's free to do that on YouTube. And turn the little notification doodle on if you want to make sure that you catch the the Shadowlands experience for this Pacifist over there. Now, I do straight gathering, or I will be doing straight gathering like I did on Gentle Soul. I don't like getting involved with certain world quests because then it puts you closer to people, and when you're closer to people on a Pacifist, the world can shatter in a nanosecond. So, we just kind of do our own thing and gather our stuff. While challenges, Pacifist. Down in front. Oh, come on, fingers. Find the right keys. Dings level 49. Now, the videos on that one will probably be pretty close together. Depending on... I say that and then I'm like, well, wait, I have to edit them. Although I don't really edit them. I'm just gonna throw the raw file into Adobe and just render it straight up. I usually don't have to do much editing on those. But I do have to put them together, so I think the only thing I'd have to do really is maybe an intro. If I decide to do an intro. So they'll still probably be fairly close together. At least they'll be recorded fairly close together. Perhaps that should be the better phrasing we go with there. Alright, so he's gonna chill here by the fire. Keep the innkeeper company. And we're gonna swap to a bloodthirsty, so. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna pop on the Demon Hunter first day. We're still running with the same 3 bloods at the moment. Because 39 and 42 is not enough space in between them. So, that's what we're gonna do. And, I wanna at least try to get that Death Knight to 55 before we bring the Shaman back in. Death Knight's currently 51. So we've got a couple more weeks before we bring the Shaman back into the fold. Alright. So we are on the Demon Hunter, Bloodthirsty, Soul Glaive. We are currently 42, attempting to get to 43 this time. Didn't pick up a whole lot of stuff here. I mean, we've got a couple of greens. We got 5 greens. 2 bushy tails. And only 1 trophy antler this level. So not a whole bunch of stuff. Not a whole lot of high ticket items. But we did pick up some greens, although they're not worth that much at this level anyway. But you know, we'll see what we can do. As we head out to level over here. Yeah, so it was probably going to take me another week to get that speed felt. I'm calling it a speed felt because we didn't actually paint with paint. But that speed hint of the felting project all put together. Probably gonna take me another week because I have to render tonight. I still have 4 hours of music delay in, and I don't know if we're gonna have any problems after we try our workaround, and then I have to do stream prep for next Wednesday, so because Death Knight took a little bit this week. I'm not sure if I was fighting against a leveling bot or if it was an actual person, but they were following my leveling path almost to a T in certain spots. Not all of them, but in certain spots. And I was just like, holy fuck. And there were some things that made me think maybe it wasn't a bot, but there were some other things where it really felt like a bot. But I wasn't sure enough. I was at like maybe 60% sure, and I didn't want to do a report on that, but I had seen them the one day, and they were the same level as the Death Knight. They were 51, so I was like, and they were just dogging my steps. Like, I was just so mad. I was like, God damn it. And every mob I went to pull, they were pulling it. I was like, dude, go away. And a little bit later, I noticed that I was getting the mob kills, so I don't know where they vanished to. So I was thinking I hadn't seen them, so I was like, oh, well, you know, maybe it was a person. And the very next afternoon, I saw them again, except this time, instead of, you know, being closer to 51, they were 56, and I was like, how? Maybe they were running dungeons, I don't know. So it could have been a person, I guess. And they were just grinding between dungeons. I mean, you can pick up some decent XP if you're dungeon grinding, I suppose. I just don't know. It was odd. Because I was like, I'm grinding and I'm rested. And it's taking me this long to level. You to go from 51 to 56 in approximately 24 hours cannot possibly still be rested fully. I don't know if they had Darkmoon hats that they were sticking on their head. Do those work outside of Darkmoon Fair week? I don't know. They might vanish during non-Darkmoon Fair time. It's been so long since I've played with those on my normals that I don't know. So I don't know what their deal was, but it was very odd. But I'm thinking by now they must have hit 60, so maybe they won't be a problem today. One can hope. I mean, if they're still at it at 60 and haven't upgraded their gear after hitting 60, then something's definitely going to be a bit weird. Because, I mean, some of it was that green vendor gear from Pandaria that, like, has your class tagged to it. That I've seen a lot of the leveling bots wear. Which I thought was kind of strange, but not all of it was. It didn't look like. But I'm not used to normal people leveling as normal to have such low level gear on in a current area. Like, it was bizarre to me. I mean, possible if they're just on a mission to see how much money they can make. They could have been doing their own thing, but I don't know. It was just weird. And it seems like I've come across a lot of weirdness from people on Trollbane, which is, I believe, the server this person was on. So it was like, fascinating. Very, very fascinating. So we'll see what happens when we pop on the DK here in a little bit. Alright, so we've got about 2 bars to go. The code is being worked on, so the guys are actively looking at it. Zaya's been giving us updates in to the other mods, and to Lita and Stir. He is making progress. So hopefully soon we'll have the trackers back up. There is a small light at the end of the tunnel. Not all hope is lost. Guys, don't forget to send in your suggestions for what challenge Lita should work on next. I don't know if that was ever officially decided on the last show. I was kind of in and out making dinners, so... And I haven't had time to go back and rewatch it. Sunday night into Monday, I was downloading all 13 live streams from YouTube that I had exported over there, so that we could put that project together. I promised I was gonna do it, so as long as the effing program lets me. We will see. But I will say I'm probably gonna have to wrap my hand tonight, because it was pretty swollen when I woke up from all of the fine movement of trying to hit the right frame of where to cut to edit that shit together. I will say that, like, my whole hand was fucking tensed and shit. Like, tense my entire arm when I'm trying to drop something in there to cut at the right frame. I hope I have enough room in the description box on the video for all of the music, because they only give you so many characters in there, right? So I'm hoping I don't have to tack on like a materials list card at the end of the video. I hope I can get it all in there, because I'm at like 22 songs, 21 songs right now. And that's sitting at an hour. That's gonna be over. So if it was like 22, 4, 6, 8, that's gonna be like, what, 100 songs? I don't know if I can come up with 100 different songs on there that fit the other tracks that I have picked out already. I've got a couple that aren't quite the same genre, but hopefully. Actually, it might be more than that. That's okay. I'm gonna spend all this time putting this video together, and it's probably gonna get like 2 views that are like 3 seconds long, because somebody's probably just gonna click and drag and just like randomly click in spots, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. So there's like this little voice in my head that's like, what the fuck are you doing? Another part of me is like, I promised to put this all together in one place when we were done, and damn it, if we're gonna go to this much trouble, we might as well do it right, or as right as we can, within my tolerances for it. Yeah, no, we don't buy followers here, so you can just see yourself out, please. Your account was created in 2014. I feel like this, like, your account was either hacked or something. Hang on, guys. Okay. Sorry, had to take care of that real quick. Anyhow. Forgot what we were talking about. Completely. It's gone now. Oh yeah, I saw on I saw from the Weather Channel that they're issuing evacuation orders and telling people to flee around Gatlinburg, Tennessee from wildfires again. They had those bad wildfires, I think the article said back in 2016, so it's kind of in the same area, which is kind of surprising, for there to be another set of wildfires so soon. I didn't think stuff would have had that much time to regrow, but apparently a few houses have already burnt down in that area, and I'm just like, wow. Hope it doesn't affect Gatlinburg too much. We're planning on, maybe someday heading back that way. Alright, so no agility. That's a bummer. And I know I'm in tank spec, but strength was grayed out, so that's not something that's gonna help us here. So, bummer. Hopefully we can get some glaives or something to drop. Or something, anything that we can use. That's, more suited to us. Suzu, why are you fussing? Was it that late already? We've barely been going for an hour, though. Alright, well, we only have the 2 more to go, so hopefully they won't take too long. I think the Pacifist took a little bit longer today. But, I mean, they still didn't take that long, but they did take a little bit.
I need to target something first.
Alrighty. So we got about maybe half a bar left on the Demon Hunter. So I know Demon Hunters and Death Knights aren't really celebrated the same way that other classes are that start from level 1, but I still wanted to get these 2 leveled because then that checks off the class box on my list. So we might as well. Didn't seem like much of a point in skipping them or ignoring them, because we can't say that we've gotten all of the classes done if we don't do them. Like, we'd only really be able to say we have all the non-hero classes, because I believe the Death Knight and the Demon Hunter were considered hero classes. At least at the time of their conception. I don't know if they're still considered that now, because so much has changed. Like, they used to be the hero classes, I think, because they started at not level 1. Like, I think DK started at 54, 55, somewhere around in there, maybe 56. And then the Demon Hunters started at 98, I believe. But now that they've been squished and had their starting level change, I don't know if they're still technically considered that. So, with talk of, we'll talk of in the announcement of the next expansion release date, like where they're going to talk about it. It's not actually coming out on this date, but they are saying that they're going to talk about the next expansion and what it's called and what it's all going to entail next month. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Anybody have any idea of what it could be? Any hopes for what it could be? Anything you'd like to see? come about in the next X pack. I mean, I personally just don't know. Like, where do you go from here? Like, I don't know. Kind of at a loss myself to think where the story could go from here. I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe something involving the Bronze Dragon flight, although they don't normally like to fuck with the timeline too much. I don't know. I've seen some speculation floating around where people think this next X-Pack is going to involve dragons of some degree, or to some degree. I'm not sure. I don't know what they could possibly do with that. I almost think... What's this? Your tattoos reduce all damage taken by 30%. Interesting. Like, I don't know. Personally, I feel like we're kind of in a corner, honestly. Like, we've gone into the depths of hell and fought old gods and new gods and met new races and made new friends and new enemies, and I just feel like with Shadowlands, I just feel like we're in a corner. Like, how do we get out of this corner? And I honestly don't know. I have that set. And oddly enough, it is on a Draenei. I think that was the set that was on my Paladin until I lost her transmog from gear replacements. I just don't know. I honestly think maybe either a complete reset or maybe WoW 2 or something. I'm not sure. I would like to see an X-Pack for the casuals. Again, it's been a long time since we've really had a casual friendly X-Pack. Like how Pandaria was kind of casual friendly. Or more casual friendly to a degree at the time. I'd like to see something like that where you're not... I don't know, it just feels like we constantly have to chase these world quests to power something, and whether that's the artifact weapon, the Heart of Azeroth, and now it's to bolster your Covenant abilities and shit. It just feels like we're on a never-ending or never slowing down hamster wheel. And I think I'd like to see something that maybe takes a slightly different direction, slows things down a bit, lets us not feel like we're so crushed if we miss a day of world quests or what have you. It's Bloodthirsty Soul Glaive, Vengeance Demon Hunter, Ding's Level, and I know like my thoughts on it are not a very popular one. Because I don't really raid. I don't really do PvP. I used to sometimes dip my toes into PvP to heal battlegrounds when I needed to try to get points for something, or I was really fucking bored, but they always stressed me out. So I kind of stopped. Slash play 2 days. 19 hours. 30 minutes and 20 seconds. So, total kills. $4,051. Alright, so let's turn off emote only, right? Yeah, okay. Suddenly wasn't sure if I had. Like I wasn't seeing the message. Yeah, okay, we're good.
So, fancy some bits and bobs?
Alright, so let's hit up the vendor trash first. And no, we don't have that many greens, we'll just throw it all together today. That's fine.
Stop by.
So 205 altogether, not terrible. It's something. Alright, and make sure we don't have any buffs going before we log out, and we don't. You never know when other players like to buff you, and you don't catch it right away. Alright, so let's pop on to the Druid. Druid is 47. So if they hit 48 this week, there's gonna be a little overlapping with the Druid and the DK, I think, in Shadowlands. Would seem. Alright. Okay, so we've picked up 5 ivory tusks so far this level. And we're over 200 matted pelts. We are 47 on the Druid, trying to get to 48 with 3 bars to go. Over here at the tusk pools. Make sure we're in the right spec here. So I'm not trying to do bear stuff in non-bear form. That makes things a little difficult. Just a wee bit. Ooh, goodness me. So it is Wednesday. Hope everybody's been having a decent week so far. I really don't remember much of Monday, to be perfectly honest. What the hell did we do on Monday? Oh, I worked on the giraffe a bit on Monday. The giraffe painting. And I know it looks bizarre. For, that was a Momoger. Are they mad that dinner's not being cooked yet?
Could be.
Oh my goodness. You guys. Getting pushy. something to hold them over. Wow. Momo's been getting sassy the past couple of days. No, I don't remember what we did on Monday. Were we doing yard work? I know I was downloading stuff on Monday. I'm trying to think of what we did on Monday. For why I don't remember. I don't think we really did much of anything on Monday, honestly. I mean, we did a walk. We might not have done anything on Monday because the husband was trying to do some yard work and a stick whacked him in the eyeball and poked him. So, he was kind of out of commission for a day or so. He's fine, but it was making his eye tear and deeply uncomfortable. Don't worry, Momo. We'll start to preheat the oven here soon. I know I'm running behind today. It was a rough day. So they did say that there was, I think 7 injuries reported from the tornado, and I think they said 1 critical. Which, I mean, it's terrible that anybody was hurt, but thank goodness it wasn't worse, because it could have been a lot worse. Most definitely. So, I will say Bear has started to slow down a little bit. Momo! Well, it's nice to see that you're feeling well enough to sass me for dinner. He has a cup of dog food right next to where he's laying. He just is mad because some nights I give him something, something extra from what I'm eating. And dinner's usually almost done by now. Can you please give him a cracker or something? Because he is just becoming a gurring monster. You guys can't hear him. I don't think he's being picked up on the microphone. He's returning to normal Momo. It's like the Momo from days of old. Oh my goodness. It's not like they were gonna get anything grand. Like, they don't get a full meal from me. Like, if I make rice with dinner, they get like 4 tablespoons of rice. Like, it's nothing major. But it makes them feel like, I don't know, included in the dinner process or something. Like, if we have mac and cheese, they get like a spoonful of mac and cheese in their own little cups presented to them, so we all eat together for a brief moment. And it keeps them from trying to beg at my side while I'm eating, because then they've gotten something.
Well, to be fair, that really mostly started when Momo hurt himself and we wanted to make sure he had some kind of entertainment.
Well, and that he was eating, because he wasn't really eating his dog food at that point in time, and so I was trying to keep him interested in some kind of food in him.
Well, my thing is, it's pure enrichment from my point of view. That's the only reason I still go with it.
But
he's very food driven.
He is. Momo is very food driven.
Food's one of the few things he'll get up for and everything.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to encourage him to at least enjoy himself somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, old dogs...
Which seems to make you happy.
Old dogs still, you know, he's going to be dealing with those injuries. It's not something that's going to get better magically and him being back to 100% with that that disc issue in his back, so all we can do is just, you know, try to make him happy. I mean, he is 10, he's gonna be 10. I think he's gonna be 11. I don't know, I keep losing track of time. So he's not a young critter. That's for sure. So whatever Grumbles wants, Grumbles can have within reason. I mean, we're not doing anything grand tonight. We're having pizza. And they don't get pizza per se. We draw the line at some points. There's seasonings and stuff in the pizza sauce that they can't have. That cross onto the doggy no list for safety. So they can have... Ooh, what is that? That's a cloth belt. Dang it! I got all excited briefly, and then I saw the name, and I'm like, oh, yeah. So I mean, they can have some things, but we do check our doggy safe eating list, and there's some of the seasonings in the pizza sauce that they can't have. I don't season the crust. We make the crust. We make pizza dough. So, I can tailor that at least, and they'll get some pieces of my plain crust, which is basically bread, and these two go crazy for it. And I'm like, really? That's what's gonna make you happy? They don't get a whole lot. They get like maybe half a slice of crust or something, ripped up in little pieces. Momo's weird. Like, Zuzu will just like take it and just like shred it. But for Momo, if it's not small and dainty pieces, he gets real confused about how he's supposed to eat it. So if I give him a slightly bigger piece of anything, he just kind of looks at me like I'm dumb. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this, lady? So then I kind of have to rip it up into smaller pieces, and then he's happy. And I'm like, alright. Sure, I guess. But he does have a, we believe he has a narrow esophagus. Because a lot of times when he's drinking water, he'll cough, and then, he'll like cough up the water that he was drinking, so. So the boy has a few problems, but that's okay. Don't we all? Don't we all? He did get up on the bed over the weekend a few times, unprompted. He wouldn't get up there prompted, but we had been outside. Russell was doing some yard cleanup, and I had gone out to check on him because I heard him talking to the neighbor, and I didn't know what was up. And then he had me helping him do something, and then when I came back in, Momo's just sitting on the bed wiggling at me, so excited that I came back, and I'm like, okay. And I got excited that he got up there, and then he's like, oh, I'm up here, and he got off and got in his bed. And then later he hopped back up on the bed and was looking out the window, and I was trying to be calm about it so he didn't get upset that he was up there, or think I was upset he was up there. And he was just chilling, looking out the window for a few minutes, then he got back in his dog bed. And I told my mom, oh, I was so proud of him because he got up on the bed and he's been really hesitant to do so. And my mom's like, oh, he's always in here up on our bed. I'm like, you little stinker. So we don't know if it's something with us, because he was with us both times he got hurt. The one time he fell off this bed, so I can see him being scared to try to get back up on it. We had taken them for a longer walk than we usually do, because they wanted to go explore, and we were kind of like, well, okay, oh, you brat, you tagged my mobs, both of them. Oh. 28 pain in the ass. They're not even part of the quest. I don't think. Is there a quest to kill muddy river beasts out here? So when we came back from the walk, we don't know if he was just tired or what. He had been pulling pretty hard on the leash the whole time. And when we got back, he went to jump up on the bed and his foot slid out from underneath of him, one of his back feet. I don't know exactly how it happened because I might have been laying on the bed and didn't actually see him. I think I saw his head and he went to pop up and I think his foot slid out from underneath of him and he fell. And he hit the hardwood floor somehow. So we weren't sure if he hurt his back or his hip. And then afterwards he was like all shaky and upset and whining. And we're like, we don't know what happened, buddy. We don't know where you're hurt. And it continued for like a full, like all night. So we had to take him to the vet the next day. And they told us what they thought it was. And they gave us medication for him and stuff. And he wanted to go potty, so Russell took him out to go potty, and while they were crossing the street for him to go pee on his favorite tree, he must have stepped funny and pinched whatever was angry again, or more so, and then he doesn't, ever since then he's like, no, I'm not going outside. And I'm like, buddy, come on. You're looking longingly out the window. The past couple times we brought Zuzu back in, he kinda looks like he wants to go, and then we offer him his harness, and then he's like, no, and he turns away from it, so. We might try to get him a new harness. Maybe he thinks the harness hurt him, we don't know. But we think as it gets warmer out, he might want to be outside. We're not trying to rush him. Like, he has potty pads and he'll get up and go on his potty pad. So I'm not gonna force the issue yet, because Russell wants to take him to one of their special places, but they tend to get really excited when they go to the special place, and I'm afraid he's gonna get really excited and pull on the harness and hurt himself again. So I'm a little leery of doing that without him going outside here for even just a few minutes, but we're gonna start trying to force the issue maybe after we replace his harness. And at least, you know, try to carefully pick him up and put him on the grass or something. And see how that does him. Oh, we'll see. We still have some of his pain medication if he needs it, because he did have a bad day a couple of, maybe 2 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago, where we definitely had to medicate him because he was just whining and shaky all day and stuff, so we're not sure what happened. Don't know if it was just a bad day or if Zuzu stepped on him in his dog bed, because they still kind of, they don't fight, but Zuzu gets pushy about being in there with him sometimes, and it's not a very big dog bed. I would like to get them an actual legit dog bed. Like one of those raised up ones that's not on the floor, because right now they loved the guinea pig hay, the smell of it so much that we had taken one of the larger boxes, I think one of the 40-pound boxes that we had gotten, and we cut down the one side of it because it's a pretty sturdy box. And we kind of made a dog bed out of the box, and then we took one of my old pillows and just kind of shoved it in the bottom to give him something soft to lay on, and both of them loved it. And Momo has since stolen one of my blankets off of the bed, and there's days where I'll like put laundry on the bed to go in the hamper, and I'll get distracted and forget about it. This was before he hurt himself, and I would forget all about it, and then I would go to... Oh, what's happening? Flamingos! Lots of flamingos! Oh, we had a raid! Oh, thank you for the raid. Welcome, welcome. Hello, friends. Oh, and we have a follow. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the raid, Bear Dragon. I think I'm saying that right. Bear Dragoon, excuse me. Thank you much. Oh, what did we get? Oh, and thank you for the follows. It's just Flamingo Palooza here today. Aw, a wand. That sucks. I can't use that. We can sell it though. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. So how are you, everyone? Welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I do love my Mingos. Eventually, I will have a flamingo army in our front yard. It's a slow process though, because you gotta have money to buy them, right? So, tight budgets don't always allow for the acquirement of yard flamingos, but we will have them someday. Yes, I will have my flamingo army of my lawn flamingo army. I shall have them. I've got I've got two taller ones, and then I've got about, what is it, 6 or 8 mini ones, plus 3 flamingo wind chimes, and one little flamingo whirligig where his little wings like spin in a circle. So they better be scared. Like when we went to Key West a few years ago. It's one of our happy places, but we don't get to go very often because, you know, money. It's where we honeymooned and stuff. So when we were down there, was it 3 years ago? There was this one shop. They had this metal flamingo lawn sculpture, right? I wanted that damn thing so bad. So bad. I just kept looking at it and I'm like, husband. He goes, we have no way to get it home. And I'm like, but we really didn't have any way to get it home. The mother-in-law and the dogs were with us, so there really was no room. If they hadn't been with us, he totally would have let me get it. Because we would have put the back seat down and crammed it into the car somehow. We would have made that fucker fit, but I think it was like $80 or something, but I really, really wanted it. And I was so sad that we couldn't get it, but you know, Amazon has its fair share of flamingo stuff. Oh, and I have 2 light up lawn flamingo Christmas decorations as well. So we are doing we're leveling in WoW, but we're doing a challenge through the WoW Challenges community that I am part of. I'm one of their Discord moderators, one of their Twitch moderators, and I also help out with their website, doing articles and some blog posts and behind the scenes stuff for their podcast. On Saturday nights, they have the podcast is live recorded most Saturday nights on Twitch, as schedules permit. Lita, who is the host of it right now, and so it's like 7 p.m. Eastern on their Twitch channel. And I've been part of their community for, a good number of years now. 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I also manage their social media accounts and kind of help watch over them, shall we say, and do posts and things for Lita for that as well. So they have the Iron Man challenge, the Pacifist challenge, the Bloodthirsty challenge, the Working Man challenge, the Green Man challenge, the Tin Man challenge. There's a couple of teams challenges, and that might be it. Today we are working on, well, we worked on the Pacifist challenge a little while ago, and we got our current Pacifist to level 49. So Pacifist challenge is leveling without killing anything. You can't have any kills on your record. Can't have any killing blows on your record, definitely. All the rules are on their website, wildchallenges.com. For each challenge. So you can't kill, so you can do quests that don't count as kills, which you definitely have to look that up, because some quests where you're like putting out fires or touching objects can count as a kill in the stats for some reason. So you have to like level doing gathering or those non-killing quests, or turning stuff in at Darkmoon Fair and that sort of things. So we are level 49 on that one. Right now we're working on our Bloodthirsty challengers. We've got one more to go before we wrap up for the night. So Bloodthirsty is a bit kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, where you are killing things. That's what you're doing. That's how you're leveling. You are grinding to max level. There are some exceptions where you can quest, but it's very few quests, and it's very rigid and strict on what quest you can do. So if you're on a class that's stuck in your starting area and the only way you can get out is through questing, then you can quest to get out of that starting area. So like your goblins, your worgans, Goblin, Worgen, your pandas, your Death Knights, and your Demon Hunters. They're all locked into their starting area. So you're allowed to quest up to a certain point, and then you have to grind. The quest list is embedded in the rules for the Bloodthirsty challenge. So you would have to look that up. And there's a couple of X-Pack transition spots where you can do a couple of quests. The largest quest exception for Bloodthirsty is the transition from BFA into Shadowlands. Because when Shadowlands came in, they forced everyone to do them all, so we had to allow the Bloodthirsties the maw quests to get into Bastion, so that they could go beyond like level 52, 53, because XP drop off is a real thing in BFA. So, but then when they put the skip in, Bloodthirsty can do the skip, but you have to take the storyline quest when you come into Oribos. You're not allowed to do the world quest option, because it gives you credit for like 300 fucking storyline quests, which is a no-go. So you'd have to take the quest line in Oribos, the storyline option, and then finish the quests in Oribos, and then take the first quest to let you into Bastion, and then you can go about your killing spree once again. So, does going healer into dungeons where you don't kill anything count? No. 'Cause you're part of a party. So, you would still be getting kills, and you'd be close enough to those kills where you'd be getting what we call prox kills, where you didn't touch it, but it still counted for you. And I know a lot of people think that's ridiculous, but prox kills are a thing. We've had it happen multiple times where a mob you've never even touched, maybe looked in its direction but never touched it because you were in proximity to somebody else that killed it. Somehow, some way, Blizzard's code decided that you were going to get credit for it. And it sounds ridiculous, but we've seen it happen, and we've seen people get flagged for it. Yeah, no. Most of the solo challenges, like Bloodthirsty, Pacifist, Iron Man, Green Man, Working Man, and Tin Man, you cannot go in a dungeon. Absolutely not. No dungeons allowed. Because it puts you in a group with other people, and it's considered outside help. Pacifist, you wouldn't be in a dungeon anyway, so, because you can't kill stuff. Now, there are, is it 2? There's 3 teams challenges that are available where you can work with up to 5 other people on your team, but you all have to level together. And those are Iron Man, Green Man, and Bloodthirsty. Now, Bloodthirsty, you wouldn't be doing dungeons. Iron Man and Green Man, you can certainly try, but if any member of your team dies, the team's red flagged. So, it's risky. We never had a team hit max level, and we never had a team successfully complete a dungeon that we're aware of. And if you're going to do dungeons in a team situation, the entire group would have to be the team, or you'd have to walk to the dungeon and walk in together. You can't do Dungeon Finder unless you're a full team of 5, because Dungeon Finder would fill out the group essentially, so that wouldn't be allowed. But yeah, Pacifist can't kill anything. You can't have any prox kills. In fact, we've found out that the Whack-A-Knoll game at Darkmoon Fair, where you have to hit the knolls with a mallet that pop out of the barrels, that counts as kills. There's a quest in Northrend. Oh, where is it? What zone is it? It's either... I don't remember what zone it is. There's 2 zones it could possibly be, and I am drawing a blank on both of those zone names. Why? One's kind of like the Plaguey zone. Why am I drawing a blank on the name of this? And the other one was kind of like the more trolly zone. I can see the names, but I can't... Oh, my brain. Hang on. What are they? Do I have them open on this map? Where are they? Zoldrak. Zoldrak and, is it Grizzly Hills? It's either in Zoldrak or Grizzly Hills. I can't remember which one. It might be Zoldrak. There's a quest to go put out fires, like campfires or something, or little fires on the ground. Those count as kills, and we're flagging people during our during the pacifist contest they had a little while back. So definitely have to scout things out. We have a forum board on the website for potentially problematic quests that we're aware of. So yeah, definitely lots of scouting involved if you don't know how a quest is going to behave. And most of the time you're just better off just doing mining and herbing and using the XP from that. We are allowed to use Crommy time. Bloodthirsties can use Crommy time, but you can't do the quest to talk to Crommy. That quest will count against you, but you can turn it on without doing that quest. I did put I don't normally use Crommy time myself. I try to do it without it because I still think it can be done. A lot of people prefer to do Crommy time with it. with the challenges, but the only challenger that I turned Crommy time on for right now was my Pacifist. And that was so that I could keep picking herbs in Western Plaguelands, in the Western Eastern Plagueland Lake Daromir loop. Because without turning Crommy time on, at level 30, we stopped getting any kind of decent XP from looting that stuff, or from, you know, looting the nodes. So it was kind of pointless at that stage. And then like Pandaria and up. Was it Pandaria? No. What next pack came after Pandaria? I'm drawing a blank. Legion? Legion and BFA had the potential, when you looted a node, for a hostile mob to show up. Which was bad for pacifists. So, when those X packs were current, we had to do archaeology to level in vanilla. And you couldn't do archaeology in Pandaria because that's where the hostile mobs started to spawn. So it was a little complicated. But you know, there were ways to get around things and stuff. Chilling summons. Yeah, we already have this here. We can't do the skip for the maw until we hit 50. Oh no, we did just get this because we hit 48. But, yes, Darian. I know all about it, Darian. We've done this before. Go away, Darian. Shit, what was I thinking about? Damn it, Darian, you distracted me. Oh, yeah, so, that's right, skip. You can't do the mall skip until you hit 50. So we're gonna be out here 2 more levels. Same thing with the Pacifist. The Pacifist has 1 more level to go before I can take them into Shadowlands. Now, the Passy, we're gonna record their leveling process, like I said earlier, and we'll put those video recordings up on the YouTube channel, where we archive all the live streams at. Just because the time of day that's safe enough for me to take them out, where there's not as many people running around being silly, is like 11 p.m. midnight, and that's not my normal stream time. And we'll just record that, and we'll just throw that up on the YouTube channel on the WoW Challenges playlist. That's how we'll work with that, so you guys can still see how I level my Passy out there. I am trying to get all of the classes to max as bloodthirsty challengers. Hey Red, you're up late. Lita calls me the queen of the bloodthirsty challenge. So far we have grinded to max level priest, paladin, warlock, hunter, rogue, mage, and monk. I think that's right. I have remaining Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Druid, Shaman, and Warrior. We have 5 classes left. So we're slowly getting there. And hopefully we can complete this before the next expansion comes out. So, WoW Challenges does have a Twitter account, so if you like to tweet about your highs and lows in your challenger process, don't forget to include the WoW Challenges hashtag, so that way Lita and I can see and we can follow along on your challenge journey, whichever challenge it happens to be. So hashtag WoW Challenges, we are doing the Bloodthirsty Challenge. So WoW Challenges, Bloodthirsty, Soul Survivor. We are in a Bear Druid on this one. Ding's level 48. I have a slash played so far of 4 days. That's in-game playtime, not actual real-world time. 17 hours, 26 minutes, and 27 seconds. My oldest challenger was born in WoD, and they are my paladin. So they've been kicking around for a while. I think the paladin has over 40,000 kills on them. 9,120. Okay. So how are you today, Red? Alright, so we're gonna do our vendoring here. So let's see how much we got from our vendor trash. Now again, the ivory tusks are your high ticket item off of your river beasts. They come in at like, what was it, 17 gold a piece? 17 gold and change. Alright, we only picked up 2 greens, so I'm just gonna throw them in with, wow, that wand was worth 12 gold. I'm just gonna throw them in with the vendor trash. The meat, I'm just gonna vendor all at the end. Nobody's buying this off auction house right now, so I'm better off just vendoring it. But I'll wait till we're done out here, so that way I don't have to keep shoving it back in its place in my bag. So we had a total of 292 gold vendor goods that level. And we're gonna shift gears and go grab the Death Knight. I am gonna have to switch servers for this, because Death Knight was on a different server. Okay, that was the Demon Hunter that got flagged for taking the Threads of Fate World Quest option. So don't do that. Take the storyline. Alright, so let's load in on that one. Oh good, nice, nice. Red is part of the code team that is working on bringing the challenge trackers back up and online. Him and Zaya and supposedly Nap, I think Nap might be helping a little bit as he's able to, are working on getting the bugs fixed in the code trackers, or in the code for the trackers, so that we can get those back brought up online. Because the trackers have been down for a little bit. But if we're able to get the trackers brought back up and verify the level 60 runs that have happened since the tracker has been down, then I'm going to be a very busy person, because I write the articles celebrating I write most of the articles celebrating those that have hit level 60 on their challengers. I also write the holiday articles for challengers, what's gonna work within the challenge rule set and what might not be a good idea to touch. And we do have some holidays coming up. Well, we've got Darkmoon Fair coming up on Sunday, Saturday night, Sunday, depends on how you look at it. And then later in April we have Noble Garden, then we have Children's Week and another Darkmoon Fair. We don't do an article for Darkmoon Fair. Not really. Maybe one of these days we will, but if I have time or the energy. But probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do one on Darkmoon Fair. Maybe I'll get with Fair about that. Interview her about that. We could do that. So you're the Linux guy, and Zaya and Nap are doing the database part. Okay, well, nice. Yeah, I know Zaya's been updating us in mod chat about how things have been going. And so far in the test code that's not live on the server yet, things seem to be going well, which is definitely a relief and some much welcomed news. And rather awesome, because Zaya kind of had to teach himself the code for the website, because he knew a little bit, but he didn't know a whole lot of it, so he's been playing around figuring that out. And he is making pretty quick progress, I will say. Or at least it feels quick, but I think he's also had some time to work on it, or at least look at it. And kind of fiddle with some things offline. Now, son of a bitch, that guy, if this is the same guy, and he still has the same gear on, I might be reporting his ass. If I can find him. Because it's very odd for those mobs to not be there. Like, I'm the only one that ever effing kills them. So those ones are gone. These ones are gone. Let's see. Is the horse gone? No, the horse is here. I think they go a different way. They might go up and down. We'll see if I see him. Or her. Or it's. I think it's a bot. If it's the same one I saw earlier in the week, and they're level 60, with the same exact gear on, I'm gonna be a bit miffed. Because I've been having trouble. I've reported a couple of bots now, or what I suspected to be leveling bots. I mean, two of them you could definitely tell in how they moved and whatnot, but it's been a problem out here. So for those of you that noticed, I moved. When we were together last week, we were over killing the moths. We have since come over here. I am able to kill the mobs that do this gore dot on the Death Knight. I didn't think I was going to be able to. It made me a little nervous to attempt to go after them, because that gore dot is pretty nasty on some of the challengers, depending on what class you're on. But I don't know if it's the Death Strike that's keeping us from feeling its effect too much, or maybe our bone shield or whatever. We've been handling it fairly well. And it hasn't been hurting like it did on the other characters. It could be that our health pool's a little bit higher because we are in tank spec and whatnot. And we are in plate. That could have something to do with it as well. But we've been not feeling it as bad. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to pull two of these guys at once, because I definitely don't want two of those dots on us. Two, we would probably definitely be in some trouble. But, you know, one at a time, we seem to be doing pretty good. And these guys are giving us 610 XP a kill at the moment, whereas the moths were giving me 488 XP a kill. Look at all of this leather that's been dropping. Like, I'm dying because I'm like, do you know how badly my demon hunter and druid would want that gear, and I can't send it to them? You can't send gear to your other challengers. What you are able to acquire on that tune is it. I mean, number one, well, I mean, the demon hunter's alliance, but I mean, it could be sent to the druid, but we're not gonna, because that's against the rules. You can't send yourself help. You have to acquire the things that you have on that character. Bloodthirsty can wear green gear. Son of a bitch, all of these up here are missing. It's gotta be the same guy. Or gal, or bot. It has to be. Because this is the pattern that I was seeing. all of it's gone. They can't be that far away. I don't know where they go from here, though. Hey, could you go preheat the oven?
Yeah, what to?
425. Leave the container of sauce on the...
I actually put it in the fridge because it was starting to get warm. Not sure why.
Was it actually thawed, though?
I'm not sure, but it was getting warm.
Hmm. That's someone else. I wonder if we'll see them. We might not. And that's more infuriating than anything, because then I can't report them if I can't find them. I just want to see who it is. I want to know if it's the same person. There's a couple of leather farmers that I've seen that I know aren't bots, so it could in theory not be that person that was dogging my steps while I was trying to level. But it's just infuriating not knowing why those mobs are missing.
I'm out of range.
I can't stand the leveling bots. They drive me crazy. Bedtime for you. See you next... Oh god, it's 3 a.m. there. Dude, you should have been in bed a long time ago. Thank you for popping in. And I'll talk to you later. You're up way late. So, on the Shadowlands characters that are out here, I try to only leave 1 bar left to go because it takes a bit to level out here. It can be a little sloggy and a little slow. That's why I try not to have more than 2 out here at a time for my sanity. Or else I would be pushing the shaman and the warrior right now as well to just get this done. But our leveling process this level has taken us almost 8.5 hours on the DK, and that's rested. So yeah, it's gonna take a hot minute, and I don't know if I can handle more than 2 pulling those kind of leveling times out here. We'll see if the druid's a little bit faster, but... Hello. Oh, you're just cutting through. Oh. What are you doing? You're fishing. Where are all these people coming from all of a sudden? Like... I usually don't run into people. I guess because we're out here at a different time of day. That could be it. We've usually long since finished stream by now. We got a late start today because of the weather overnight. And I didn't get to bed till like 7:30 this morning, so... I slept a bit late. I didn't get up until... Well, no, I woke up at one point and asked the husband what time it was, because he was up. And he told me, and I don't remember what time he said it was. 11? 11:30? 12? Somewhere around in there. Don't hit the thing! Don't hit the... Oh, god damn it. Please don't hit the thing. So, when people help you kill stuff, it counts as outside help, which you're not really allowed to have. Now, there is some wiggle room with that, you know, to account for people randomly tagging stuff that you're trying to kill. But if people keep doing it, you're gonna have to move or, you know, try to communicate to them to try to get them to stop as nicely as you can and explain that you can't have outside help, because it can flag you, because it can look like, you know, you're not doing what you're supposed to. But more so than that, anytime someone else hits the same mob you're hitting, your XP is reduced. So So I have XP in my chat. So because this level 53 hit our turtle over there, we only got 247 XP as opposed to 610 XP when we killed it ourselves. So that means you're going to be out here longer, you're going to have to kill more, and it's going to take more time. And you're really not supposed to have help. So it's like, I get people are trying to be nice and helpful, but it just makes me all sorts of extra salty when I just see the reduction in XP come in, and I'm like, no, damn it, no. You're making this be drug out so much further for me than it needs to be. Just like, no, please, no. But, yeah, so, I mean, I've got 5 more classes to get through this. Now, if you have the scouting map, you could go to any zone as a bloodthirsty without having to worry about getting hit for a quest, because it does let you move between all of the zones out here, without the quests being involved. But some of the zones just don't feel challenger friendly. Maldraxxus, you've got a whole bunch of shit going on. Poisony shit, stuff falling from the sky, death rays happening. I mean, we had one challenger that was sitting in the inn. Please stop. I'm begging you. I get you're trying to be helpful, but please stop. Stop. I'm a death knight. I have my own water walking. Just please stop. If I'm taking the stuff off that you're putting on, please stop. Oi. It's nice they're being helpful, but I can't have the help, so it's not really helping me. But, Revendreth, you gotta watch where you are out there, 'cause, certain areas have a debuff that increase the amount of damage that you're taking, which is no good. Sorry, I have the window open. Oh, for those of you that are new here, I live on a very busy road. It's the main road through our town, so there's going to be a lot of traffic noise, and I apologize. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. That's just the way things are. Trust me, if it drives you crazy, it drives me crazy tenfold. So, it's just how it is. Yeah, Revendreth, you gotta be real careful where you're gonna be because of the debuffs. And you can't do the quest to make the debuff, to counter the debuff or whatever it is, so you're kind of shit out of luck there. Oh, what's the other zone? Arden? Arden's okay. There's certainly there you are. It's like I knew you were patrolling here somewhere. There's certainly plenty of mobs to kill in Arden. However, there's almost too many. For me, personally, I feel like those mobs are packed in way too tight. The patrols come up onto the road, if not cross the road in some areas. It just doesn't feel safe for a challenger to me. So that leaves Bastion as the lesser of the evils for me. I never retransmogged my gear, I just didn't bother. So there's level 52. Get my slash plate here. So yeah, I mean, this is our, what, 7th, 8th one coming through Bastion to grind to to level 60. At least we can be rested now, unlike that terrible, terrible race against Too Thirsty that we were doing. We didn't even talk about doing it. It just kind of happened where both of us wanted to be the first bloodthirsty challenger to hit max level for Shadowlands. I actually didn't think he was leveling. And so I was, you know, just kind of putzing around. I had started leveling my priest a little bit late. I didn't jump on them as soon as Shadowlands hit because I was like, oh, I'm going to work on my normal and gather some stuff, dick around, you know. And then I realized he was leveling and we were like the same level. So I was like, no, I want to hit it. And he's like, no, I'm going to hit it. So then we sort of ended up battling each other, but we never actually talked about the fact that we were like, it wasn't planned. We didn't plan this out. It just happened. And it got to the point where I was just trying to push through, and I was like only sleeping for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I was trying to jump back in and I was completely out of rested. What he was killing was giving a little bit more XP than what I was killing, and in the end he beat me by like half a level. And at that point I'm like, I need sleep, fuck it. We'll be back later. And I think that last level took my priest like 14 hours to get through because she wasn't rested, and it was terrible. And I'm like, no, never again. We're not doing this without rested anymore. It was awful. WoW challenges, bloodthirsty, my bloody soul, blood DK, Tings level 52. So if you're 52, 53, 54, okay, so you'll be like 54, excuse me, when the druid comes in. Like, alright, so if you decide to stay in Bastion, because you're on the storyline mode, and not the world quest mode, things don't level, things don't scale out here, in the way that they do other places. So mobs out here on storyline mode scale to 53 and then stop scaling. So there's gonna be a chunk between 53 and say 56 to 57 where you're gonna be killing level 53 mobs, like up until 57. At least 56. It depends on your class and how comfortable you are taking on the level 60 mobs. Because it goes up to level 53 and then the mobs jump to 60. And some of those 60 mobs are pretty brutal to the level 56s, depending on your class. But that's just how it is. So it can take a little bit of time to get through out here. Alright, so this one slash played so far is 5 days, 10 hours. Now this one survived a level squish, so they've been kicking around for a while. I think this one was born in Legion? I think the druid was born in BFA, I believe. But this one was born in Legion. My oldest, like I said earlier, was from WoD. So they've got like the longest real world timestamp ever because of it started tracking them when they hit level 10, I think, for real world timestamp on our trackers. I think they're at like over 4 years old or something. 5 years old. 5 days, 10 hours, 22 minutes, 26 seconds. Sorry, I'm a bit dyslexic, so it takes me a little bit longer, especially if I lose my place, to get the numbers put in correctly. So I go a little bit slower just to make sure I'm not fucking something up. Total kills are 10, 6, 4, 4. Alright, so let's put that out to Twitterverse. Okay, and you can follow me on Twitter. It's at NiseyBGN. Like I said earlier, we've got the YouTube channel. We've got a Kofi page where we have our art gallery because we do art on the weekend. And I also have an Instagram where I'm slowly building the art gallery over there. Alright, let's see. We need the mammoth. We have to do our vendoring. Now, we didn't really pick up all that many greens this level, so that was kind of sad compared to last level. Like, last level we had, like, what? 400 gold and greens? Or something. Alright, so let's go through our vendor trash. We did get one suffused horn, so that was good. That was 18 gold there. Because we're not killing humanoids right now, so we're not getting residual gold from them. So we are relying on our drops to pay for our bills right now. So 222 on the vendor trash, and let's go ahead and vendor the greens that we did pick up because these haven't been selling on our server. Alright, and that's another 156. So, you know, something. Alright. That's not what I want. There we go. Just wanted to dismount. So, that's it for us today. Tomorrow we'll be doing Parkitect. Friday we'll be back in Planet Zoo. We'll be working on attempting to finish up my turn to build in the husband-wife random zoo. Saturday will be dark. There is a WoW Challenges podcast this week, 7 p.m. Eastern on their channel. I think Chris is supposed to be on with Lita this week if her internet behaves, because she's been having some instability issues with her provider recently. And then Sunday we'll be doing art. We'll be starting the next tutorial from the Bob Ross Joy of Painting Season 3 series. We'll be starting the tutorials, or the tutorial for episode 2 in that season. So we start a whole brand new needle felting project this week, so that's going to be fun. And we'll see how far we get laying that out. I still have to figure out what size we're going to do for that. Haven't fully made up my mind yet. I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm going to go smaller or bigger. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. But, yeah, so we've got a full week planned for us. Let's see. Who's doing stuff that we can go and visit? I don't think Zortz is streaming today. His internet's been kind of funky the past little bit here. Let me refresh the list and see. Why is this being weird? No, there's more people on that list than that. There we go. I was being silly about loading in. Not that many people streaming tonight. That I know of. Let's see. Oh! We can go visit Evie. I'm familiar with that name, I think from Zortza's streams, so... They are playing Killing Floor 2. So we will go see them. So thank you guys for the raid. I do appreciate that. Thank you for the new follows. Appreciate that as well. It's always fun when the Mingos get set off. And I will see you all tomorrow afternoon for Parkitect. Have a great night, you guys.